Welcome back, guys, to the 10-minute Bitcoin show. We're going to have you out of here before the next block. The liars are still lying, guys. The paper hands, they're folding. What are we going to do? Is Bitcoin dying, guys? Is Bitcoin going to die here? Is this it? Is this the end of the road? I've seen this story before. Anyway, we got a question from one of the viewers of the 10-minute Bitcoin show. Mayor McKenzie says, could you do more videos addressing the accusations of the legality issues? I hear a lot from the other side on how we can be liable as node runners if we have these images on our nodes now. Nick Szabo has made remarks on this and was hoping for someone to address. Mayor, that's a great question, and I can understand why you're concerned. I can understand why you're concerned because the liars are lying. The liars are lying, and they haven't stopped lying. And yet, for some reason in Bitcoin, we give these liars a free pass because they say the word Bitcoin. It's like a magic trick. They say, hey, I like Bitcoin, buy my shitcoin. Hey, I like Bitcoin, here's some Bitcoin FUD. Hey, I like Bitcoin, Bitcoin is dying. Yeah, liars are lying. That's just what they do. And you know, it's funny that you mentioned Nick Szabo because I have a video on Nick Szabo. Go and look for my video called Nick Szabo Publicly Discredited Himself if you want to know what I have to say about him. But we're going to talk about your question here, Mayor, because I can see from your second reply that you've been fed this narrative by Matthew Kratter, probably also Luke, and probably also Mechanic, and then the endless number of influencers shilling referral links who are fielding this nonsense. And I responded to Mayor here in text, but before we read that, why don't we go and look at where I've formulated some of my thoughts from this. Now, here's a Reddit thread from 9 years ago. This is before Core V30. This is before Taproot activated. This is before SegWit activated, guys. This anonymous poster who has since deleted his account and posted in the R Bitcoin Beginners subreddit the following question: illegal material encoded in the blockchain. I've read that it is possible to encode and store custom data on the blockchain. Seeing as the blockchain is essentially an immutable ledger, can't people encode illegal things in it, like child exploitative material, stolen credit card information, etc.? And if so, does this not make it a risk to run a full node as you're effectively storing this and spreading it, and there's no way to remove it? Wait, you're telling me that someone asked this question in 2016? Before Core V30? Before Taproot? Before SegWit? Guys, what is happening? Mechanic told me that Core V30 was what enabled this. Mechanic told me, Matthew Kratter said that the price of Bitcoin is going down because Core V30 made it possible to embed illicit data in the blockchain. What is going on, guys? How did someone ask this question 9 years ago? The answer is that they're lying. They're lying to you. There is no permutation of Bitcoin that could possibly exist as far as permissionless peer-to-peer digital cash goes, that a person could not devise a scheme for embedding arbitrary data in that system. No matter how many forks you do, no matter how many weird sycophantic relationships you form, no matter how many parasocial influencers give you their referral links and tell you they have all the answers, you're not going to fix this problem. And in fact, it's not a problem, it's a feature. Permissionless data. Permissionless data is required to have a permissionless digital cash, right? That's what this means. It's always been possible to embed images on Bitcoin. I have a video on this. You can view my journey through checking some of that out. There's images going back to all the way back to at least 2011 embedded on the Bitcoin blockchain. But you know what? None of this even matters because there's no native way to browse embedded or encoded data in Bitcoin's time chain. It's not a feature of the protocol, guys. It's not a feature. It's in some way you could probably consider it a bug, right? The fact that you can do this. But what I'm telling you is that there's no possible permutation of Bitcoin where you could totally prohibit it. All of it is basically, as far as the Bitcoin protocol is concerned, encrypted noise. It's viewed by the protocol as just transaction data. It's encrypted on the network. It's encrypted on the disk. If you pull it up on your Bitcoin software, it just looks like garbled nonsense, right? The only way that you would know that there were even pictures in the blockchain is if you were looking for them. And it's not what the protocol is designed for, guys. There's no way, you can't just open the Bitcoin software and browse through images embedded in the time chain. You've always been able to put whatever you want into, you've always been able to come up with whatever schemes you want to put data into the time chain. You could find illicit data in Pi. If you were motivated enough to find illicit data, or to find trade foreign national secrets, or to find someone's social security number, you could find that stuff in Pi, right? Like what are we actually talking about here? For them, it's 99% of it is just noise. And if you look hard enough, you could find literally anything. Does that mean that the government should make Pi illegal? No. The answer is obviously no, right? And if the state wanted to target something, if it wanted to crush Bitcoin, it wouldn't need this reason, guys. It can do whatever it wants, right? What are we doing here? What is the point of all of this? Why are we in Bitcoin? What is our conviction, right? I can tell you what my conviction is. My conviction here is to fight the fight for economic security, right? This is a battle that we need peer-to-peer digital cash to win. We need permissionless digital peer-to-peer cash to win the fight for economic security. I'm not just fighting this fight for myself. I'm fighting this fight for my children, right? And I do take it personally. I do take it personally when guys like Matthew Kratter and guys like Luke and guys like Mechanic lie and seed these narratives and convince people to dump their Bitcoin or whatever it is, you know. Hey, this is just another day. This is just another day, guys. This is a battlefield, right? But these people are lying to you. They're lying to you, and in many cases, the only thing that they're doing is they're following attention. They're following attention and they're monetizing it and they're selling you garbage. But look, I don't have any referral links for you. I'm not trying to make sure that I stay on the conference circuit. I don't have venture capitalists I need to keep happy. I'm not your friend, guys. Like, Bitcoin is not, like, let's look at this. Where is this? Okay, here we go. Austin Hill, you know, there's this attitude in Bitcoin that this is not a friendship circle, right? Bitcoin is subversive technology in an adversarial environment. This is not a community. Bitcoin is not a community. Bitcoin is a protocol. Bitcoin is a distributed peer-to-peer digital cash protocol. Permissionless money, cash on the internet, no auto updates. Every user, every dev, every miner, every contributor, every influencer is a potential attacker. This is a gladiatorial arena, not a friendship circle, right? I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to call out the lies and the liars. I'm here to tell you that these people that are pushing these narratives, these people that have fielded this in any way whatsoever, every single one of them is a discredited liar, right? And if you let them convince you to sell your Bitcoin, you know, what are you actually doing here? What was your conviction even based in? I don't know. But, you know, let me talk about one other thing here, because I think I've identified one of the linchpins of the issues with the whole debate. You know, Luke will tell you that there are certain types of transactions that get included in blocks that are invalid. That they're an abuse of the system, and that they're invalid according to the rules of the protocol. Now, I would say, you know, to me, my disagreements with these people pushing these lies, they're not subjective. We're not having subjective disagreements. We don't just have different ways of looking at the world. My understanding of these things is fundamentally at odds with these people. They are liars, right? Calling certain consensus valid transactions on Bitcoin invalid is objectively false. Bitcoin is defined by its protocol software, right? And at the consensus level, our protocol software says that many types of transactions, which might be undesirable for some of us, are valid. They're valid at the consensus level, guys. The protocol is what defines what Bitcoin is. Luke doesn't define what Bitcoin is. Mechanic doesn't define what Bitcoin is. You, pleb, with your node, you don't define what Bitcoin is. The distributed consensus determined by the protocol software defines what Bitcoin is. In order for something to be invalid on Bitcoin, it would have to be considered invalid by the Bitcoin protocol. This is just common sense, okay? Don't listen to the liars. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Fight for economic freedom.